Toi Ora Live Art Trust operates in the inner city as a creative space for people who have experienced mental illness.
Toi Ora is about 15 years old and started through, I guess, the deinstitutionalisation process, and people that were working in that field and also people that were mental health advocates really wanted their own space to be able to be creative and do their work. Our vision statement is inspiring well-being through creativity. It's very much focusing on the creative process.
And I think as well, physically, the structure of Toi Ora is important. We don't have a set office area with a door that gets closed or anything. It's very much in the art studio space. So people are available to connect in with each other, and we're always available to have a conversation. And it's very open. It's a great sense of family and community, I think.
For some people it takes quite a while for them to come here. Like, they've heard about Toi Ora, but they're just not able to get here for whatever reason it might be. And when they finally do arrive and enrol on something, then again that thing about the atmosphere and it's conducive is really important, because then they can feel that they're not having to sort of perform to a certain standard. They can just be true to themselves, and that's really important.
And here at Toi Ora we shy very far away from the clinical side of things. It's an art space to be creative, and the classes are about that, not about a mental health label.
Before Brian Slight found Toi Ora, he had no space to make his art and had resorted to painting on his front lawn.
I've been struggling hard here in the middle of the night even, because that's the only time I'd get any peace. So I'd paint at night, someone would walk through it, so I'm getting more and more frustrated, and I'm thinking, you know, there's got to be a better way.
Toi Ora was a door open to me, and I went down and was introduced, and they embraced me and said, right, you're welcome. You know, you qualify, you've got a mental disorder, which I didn't know about until I was in jail. That was bipolar.
Brian was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison for dealing cannabis.
I got busted, and I went to jail because I was the leader of the rather large organisation nationally of a drug ring that had too many drugs.
In prison, Brian began to help himself heal through art.
The librarian, for instance, was the one that signed me up to a education correspondence course. That was my first art module, basic art #1. And that allowed me, through the regulations, to have the materials in my hut, in my cell, so that I could paint, and that's how it grew. So every Friday night I would get my pay and my $20 a week, and I would have my chocolates and all the things that were accrued to me over the week by people that borrowed off me. They'd lock us up at 8:30, and I would break out all my artwork and I would start painting, and I would paint right through the weekend until Sunday night, Monday morning. The reason I did the painting in the weekends was the guards wouldn't come and do a cell search on the weekends. Only on Monday mornings would they come and search, and then all of my work would be pulled out on the floor and they'd walk all over it because it was not relevant to them, it was not valuable. It was just a hobby. But for me it was my life, and it was the way I measured my time. Therefore, I wanted to know what was inside me. How could I have a legacy that I was proud of? The only thing that's kept me sane and alive is my ability to express myself in painting. Erwin and Bernadette, they help you to achieve the plan that I had when I first got out of jail, which was I want to be able to create my own future by the works that I've done inside. From the prison point of view, because I only had limited resources, I was only allowed A4 and A3 size paper. Now that I'm free, I got unlimited access, like a kid in a candy shop. You spend up to a year on some paintings, depending. And I've never done it wet sizing before, but it's, yeah, you've got to try something new all the time, eh? Otherwise you never learn.
Brian intends to make the most of his art by showcasing it at Te Karanga Gallery.
Brian came to us and wanted an exhibition, so we sat down and worked through the details of that.
Brian wants to sell his artwork so he will be able to afford to see his children, who were put into the care of his Australian family when his wife died.
My wife, she was diagnosed with cancer and was dead within 4 months. So it was a hell of a shock, and then I got left with 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and they were taken from me by SIFs. I had to let my children go from the SIF's care to my only family, which is in Australia. To realise enough financial independence so that I can pay for the fares for my children to come home at least for a week to see me. I haven't seen them for 12, 13 years really, so time's ripe. And it's something I'd like them to, because they've got their little collections of their own personal paintings that I sent, you know, it's sort of like I want them to get closure as well as realise that I'm not different. I'm the same dad as I was when they were born, as opposed to what they think or have been told about me up until now.
Toi Ora provides a diverse range of programs, including creative writing, visual and performance arts for people who have experienced mental illness.
I moved here to New Zealand when I was 2 years old. I am a singer-songwriter and I do a lot of performances as well. Definitely music is my blood. I normally do a lot of solo gigs, and I do get a lot of gigs voluntarily, especially for Mental Health Awareness Week. When I first came into contact with Toi Ora, they were welcoming, very welcoming. At first I was shy, and I used to be really closed. I did not like to talk to anyone, just like to do my own thing within the programs. Can you see your imagination running wild?
Trims came to Toi Ora through being a singer-songwriter and wanted to learn more, and came to our music class. Our tutor Paul has helped mentor her a bit with that.
Can you reach me?
It's providing environments for people to be able to practice their trade, as it were.
A lot of people, by the time they get to Toi Ora, they've had their experience within the mental health system, and there's a lot of boxes to tick a lot of the time, and a lot of filling in forms, and a lot of different people they're interacting with. Just breathe, just get here and breathe, you know, and not have boxes to tick.
Oh, can you save me? Wake me up from the street. It's hard to explain. For those who do know depression, the ups and downs and the in-between, it is a struggle. Toi Ora basically had helped me through my confidence and especially my anxieties. I've been with Toi Ora for so long, I will have to say 6 years, and they've actually basically got me out there. I started from the bottom, worked myself way up, and I'm loving it.
Toi Ora encourages people to develop their individual creative abilities. People like Tricia Hall.
I was quite unwell and lost all my confidence, and sort of didn't really know what the next direction was. Toi Ora was a space that it didn't matter that all of this was going on. It was a place where you were accepted as you were, and your talents were encouraged and valued. So that was great. I think one of the first classes I joined at Toi Ora was the writing class, and that was really helpful for me. Poetry is something that I've had as part of my life since my early teens. At some points when I was particularly unwell, I would sometimes stop speaking, sometimes for a long time. The written word was the way I communicated for a while when I felt unable to articulate myself in spoken word.
I noticed in Toi Ora there was an atmosphere that you could do anything. It was just up to you how much you did. When I came, I did the writing class, and Judith White was the teacher. And the first story we did, she said, "Okay, I want you to write a story and just put punctuation and full stops anywhere you like." And I thought, oh, great, you know. So I wrote a story with full stops after every 3 words or after 1 word, and a comma here and a full stop there. And then when it came to print it in a magazine, They printed it exactly as I'd written it, which I thought was fantastic. Most people would have tried to reorganise the punctuation, but Toi Ora, they don't do that sort of thing. Yeah. It's really empowering.